Hello there. So, welcome to the YouTube channel. As most of you know, I'm Ross and I've been behind Hamilton Sport for the last 5 years. And if you didn't know who I was, that's who I am. So, what was Hamilton Sport? It was an informative website that I wanted to put together because I was training with the Irish team for sailing and I was spending half my time online trying to read about how to train, what the best way is to train. And I just came across so much information I didn't really know what was right or wrong. I then went on and studied a master's in exercise physiology purely because I just wanted to know why things were working, how they worked, and how I could make better use of the techniques that were out there. Because quite clearly things work, it's just trying to figure out what works and why and when things work best. So I studied that and I became a strength and conditioning coach, a weightlifting coach, a triathlon coach, I'm a certified Ironman coach. Just because I kind of have a real thirst for sort of that knowledge, and then I really like problem solving, try to figure out why things work and why they don't. And in working with some athletes, it seems like a lot of people have similar questions to the ones I have, and I've been getting a lot of questions, and I think with the guys I work with most of the time, they just want answers to things more so than training a lot of the time, because it helps them kind of commit and understand what they're doing, and they find that a lot easier to make progress with. So decided to start this YouTube channel basically to try and provide that sort of information to you. Most of what I'm going to talk about is going to be in articles on my website, but I think this is just a nicer way to kind of get a look at how I go about things and sort of see the day in the life of my training and how I might set up some of the training. And hopefully through that you'll get some nice little tidbits and tips that'll help you train, and maybe find some little things that'll make you go faster. If I don't cover things that you're interested in, or if there's things you want to see, then let me know. You know, it's really interesting when I get really tricky questions. I love tricky questions when, you know, there's not a straightforward answer, because then I have to go back and really look through the sort of the theory and the science behind things, and then try to apply it to the real world. And so it's not just all about science. I mean, everything's kind of underpinned in some sort of science, but it's nice to kind of find where the rubber meets the road. So this YouTube channel is going to give you some tips. It's going to show you some training, and hopefully, you know, give you some ideas, or at least make you think about some ideas. And if you don't know, or if you don't understand something, then please comment, let me know. I'd love to engage with you on it and sort of chat about things. And if you don't agree with something, you know, ask, because a lot of the time I have reasons for doing something, and it might not be the only way to do something, but you know, I'll have my reasons for it. Yeah. So where we're going to start, we'll start with today's training. So I went for an hour easy run in the park, fasted, so I did this before breakfast. I like to do that because at the end of a race, when you've done a swim and a bike, you might not have taken on enough energy for the run, and you're kind of starting to run on fumes, and this can be quite a heavy-legged feeling. You know, it's kind of uncomfortable, you don't really feel energetic. So by doing this on a regular basis, I figure I'm more familiar with that feeling, so I'm more comfortable with it. But also from a scientific point of view, you do start burning fat as a fuel a little bit better. And if I can do that, that's going to take a lot of pressure off me having to eat as much during a race, and you know, I'll have a little bit of energy for the end. So it's pretty easy intensity, because I'm not really trying to, you know, put too much stress on my body. So I was able to hold a full conversation, but I was still moving pretty briskly. And like I said, it was about an hour, nice and steady. Nothing kind of too spectacular. Later on, just looking at our schedule here. Yeah, so I've got a 3 by 20 minutes tempo on the indoor bike. Obviously, we're in lockdown at the moment, so I can't swim and I can't really go out in the bike, so we're going to go indoors. And this time of year with winter anyway, it doesn't really bother me staying indoors. So tempo is basically zone 3 heart rate, and for those that aren't familiar with tempo, it's basically hard enough that you couldn't hold a conversation, but not so hard that you want it to finish, or you just, you know, you're absolutely dreading it. It's decently hard. It's good for sort of separating the high end of your aerobic system with the anaerobic system, and if you can separate them, it just means you can work a little bit more specifically on a specific system. So I like to do that, and at this time of the year it's perfect. So 3 by 20 minutes they're pretty long chunks for the indoor, but they're not too hard. It's kind of just a case of really just sort of settling into a rhythm and just getting into it. So we'll catch up later and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to do 3 by 20 minutes, just the high end of zone 3. It's kind of really good aerobic work for this time of year. So I've got my little Zwift set up here now with bike and the computer. Nice little fan there as well. and obviously you need to stay hydrated. Usually use the earphones for the whole session, just because it's kind of hard to hear anything with the speakers, so the earphones just kind of stop from the neighbours getting all upset. But yeah, we'll get into a little warm up and yeah, just rip into it. So that's us done for the night. Not a ridiculously hard session, but definitely kind of sapped the legs, and again, just a really good session to kind of build on the high aerobic stuff. So now it's couch time, and time for my new guilty pleasure, Below Decks on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, it's not great, but it's really addictive, and I am definitely invested in it, so it's definitely worth giving it a look. Our next video is going to be coming out in the next week or so, and it will be focused around getting back into running. So if you haven't been running in a while and you want to get back into it, it's going to have some really nice tips on how to get you back up on your feet and get you really enjoying running again. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and help me kind of try and build it. It's a bit of a project for me, so I'm really hoping it takes off, and I'm really hoping you find it useful. And if you have any comments or suggestions or anything that you liked or any questions you had, just drop them in the comments below and I'll answer them as soon as I can get to them. Okay, enjoy and see you soon.